Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Southwest Vermont Supervisory Union Policy Draft Committee. It's November the 7th and it's 4:30. We have agenda items to be listed today, and what I'd like to do is go through the agenda to get everybody to approve what's there and then have sort of an introduction. Oh, sorry.
Turn that down.
You'd be suspended if you were in school.
That's right.
I can take that right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, take that phone and put it in a plastic bag.
Actually, it was a fraud, a scam thing coming through. So,
That's what they all say.
this time, what we tried to do here, and with help and some advice, is let's list out all of the items for the agenda and try to put some time down for them so that we can sort of see where we want to try to spend our time and move things right along. Because the goal is to start at 4:30 and be out of here at 6, but be as prudent as possible and have everybody be cognizant of the time that we're trying to spend on those things. And if we can move them along. So today we have a section, the agenda item is public comments, then we have the minutes, and then we have a policy 5005 that's back from having the lawyers look at it, and we're going to take some time there. We have bullying prevention with about 10 minutes. We got optimal class size that John and Dick worked on, and we have 2 of those listed in there, and we'll talk about that. Tracking sheets, and then we have others, and we had some things in the future down below. So they are listed in this order. What I like to do now is ask, is that correct order for everyone in terms of the way we have it? Do I need to move something around before we start? If not, then that agenda would be as presented here right now. We'll follow that format. So for the audience and for the public, I'd like to have an introduction just so that we can start on let everybody know who everybody is or who's here at this meeting.
Lisa Poplaski, Administrative Assistant.
I'm Donna Leap, Assistant Superintendent.
Dave Frederickson, Mount Anthony.
John Bullock, North Bennington.
Holly Band, SVSU.
Sandy Foster, Principal Woodford.
Ed Malloy, Shasberry.
Dave Barrow, the high school.
Frank Barnes, SVSU.
Bruce Lee Clark, CDC.
Dick France, Woodford.
Leon, Mount Anthony, and SVSU. Okay. With that, I want to thank everybody in advance. We have public comments. The first item. Do we have any? There's no public comments. Okay. The next thing I would like to do, the minutes were posted from the last meeting, is to make sure that we just approve those as what we said happened or took place, or just a synopsis of what went on for that. So can we have someone,
Move to approve.
I gotta get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded at the minutes from the last meeting. And so all in favor? Those? Okay, thank you. The minutes are approved as such, so we'll move right on. The next item on the agenda is policy 5005, is child abuse and neglect. And this policy we had forwarded on, and the question was asked is how long it's going to, where the lawyers were with it, and we got it back, and we thought that what we would do is
They're happy.
show you exactly what they did in terms of what they had for comments along that line. So I've read it 2 or 3 times through, but I won't bias anybody. I'll be taking comments from the group here as to what you think, and we can go through it line by item, or if you think it's got rationale for what they said and you think you want to move it on, we can do that. So I'll open the floor up for the discussion right now. Bruce, you got it.
Okay. I mean, I will say this. For the most part, I don't disagree with their comments. what I guess I have a concern about, and I don't know where to go with that, is I have a concern about the tone. And I'm gonna look for a place where I think that's illustrated. I think I can find it in two different places. On line 3 of page 2, where they talk about, where they add the term observed, and then they cross out all the next stuff, because this is the requirement of the statute. Technically true, but not really in keeping with either the instructions that we were given by the Commissioner of Education, nor by the instruction that we've received, at least I've received, from DCF, Department of Children and Families. And let me give you one other place where that sort of gets observed. If you go to the administrative regs, which is on page 6, where I had put in reporting under reporting procedure, and the citation, really the source of this was from the Secretary of Education's memorandum dated April 1st, 2015,
Right.
where it says, please err on the side of reporting, and the comment basically says, this is not the statute's, quote, position, nor is it the standard created under the law. I'm not even sure I understand quite what they're saying there, but I will tell you, at least from my observation, that's precisely what the DCF wants us to do. If you're making a decision, and I'm just here to be talking about teachers, yeah, I'm here to be talking for teachers. Teachers want to have a sense of which side of these lines do we run on. And when in doubt, I have been told, when in doubt, and that's what their training says, that's what you do. To me, I get where the attorneys were working from. They're working on a sort of a minimalist model and saying, just do what the statute, only what the statute says, and don't try to do anything. I'm not even sure that whether they're saying don't try to do anything more. Nobody's trying to do anything more. So I would just say it's the tone. It's the kind of thing that says treat this very narrowly. Make all the definitions narrowly. Here's a question that occurred to me on my way over here this afternoon after having read this over the weekend. Are they going to be the ones defending any teacher who is in fact brought up because they followed what they thought was our policy or the SVSU policy, and will they be the ones defending them? Because if this is adopted, and I'm not a board member, so I'm here as a member of the community.
Okay.
If this is adopted, I'm not sure I'm not overly convinced that it's instructive to faculty, and it certainly doesn't match with what DCF is asking in their training, which I think we were asking every faculty member and every staff member to be trained using that material. So that's probably the only comment I will make.
I want to thank you for that, because I think you hit on the point that everybody should be aware of. The fact is that the perspective in which you're looking at the policy. There's no question about it, is what that statement, the last statement, please err on the side of reporting. What that does in terms of the legal part of what was brought up, in terms of where you stand, in terms of something occurring, and a statement of this nature is there, and that's what is said. And when it doesn't say, you didn't err on the side please err on the side of reporting no matter what. And if you didn't do that, and one time you don't, it's in your policy that says, and now you got to defend that, which we're saying in the training to everybody. It's implied in here, and I think that, hey, this is what you do. And so Bruce is hitting on the points, it's the tone, It's telling you exactly that you have it there, and that you don't have to really put it on bold piece of paper and stick it out here where everybody can grab it and say, aha, here it is, this is what it's saying, when it tell you that this is what you need to do anyway. So, I thought that that particular thing would need to be stricken for that particular reason.
Well, that's why I would
No.
say, Leon, I'm sorry,
Go
I'm
ahead.
interrupting.
That's all.
That's precisely why I think it needs to be there. The Secretary of Education is saying, err on the side of reporting. And if we strike it, which we can do, I'm perfectly, you know, boards can do what they want. I'm not sure that they're actually suggesting that this be stricken. I think they're just
Right.
making a comment
Yeah, that's all.
that
that
this
is.
is beyond the statute. And I am not overly convinced of their argument that it's beyond the statute. That's my point. When do we report? We report when we believe reasonably that a student is in, and not just a student, any child in Vermont is in trouble, because we're mandated reporters wherever we are. In the grocery store, in the school, in the church, it really doesn't matter.
Right, so let's, I mean, that was just the point, they didn't say take it out, and I was just wanting to put the other spin on it that says that's what that, now, it'll be a vote, if everybody says to pass it on. All right, I think, Dave, you had your hand up, Holly, you had your hand, you want to say something? Somebody else? I was just,
Well, I'll-
okay, go ahead.
When a report is made, even if it's silly, you make the report. Please err on the side, even if you think it's silly. They make the call. DCF makes the call. You're covered. You're held harm. There's no,
So you're in favor of keeping that,
absolutely.
right?
Now, is that part of this, what they brought back, please err on the side of reporting, did they put that in, or is that just a note for us?
No, we had,
That's
We had
the
it in, and
that's-
they said that that was beyond the,
It's
as I read their comment, they
Yeah.
basically,
it's
and
not,
all I was trying to do was highlight some of the places where I think the lawyer's perspective is. And trust me, I understand their perspective. They're looking at it very conservatively. I am not convinced that that's the way I, as a teaching practitioner, should be treating this, but that's just me.
so I was wanting to make sure that the board members too leaned in on, in terms of that, so that was, it was there, they
Yeah.
just saying that, so I think Dave, you had,
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to include it, because I think that people can
Okay.
talk their way out of anything where they think they're gonna be liable. And I think sometimes you could be guilty of a judgment thing where you say, oh, this kid has reported before and it's been unfounded. And I think this emphasizes the fact that we're not to be making those judgments. Let somebody else do it. So I don't think it's a bad idea to put that in and say, you know, this might be the one time out of 15 that the kid reports something that's true.
yeah, so then you had Dick and John. Nick.
Well, I just took that, their strikeout to be what they wanted to eliminate,
Right,
and leave the rest of them.
yes.
Why did they underline, why did they put across, why did they line through the statute as clear?
I think because to me, as I read it, you know, if I read it as a layperson, it sounds like we were saying that's what's in the statute.
Oh,
In other
right,
words, those
right.
words are in the statute, and I think that's why she
took it-
wanted to strike
I thought
it.
that was the part that was true.
But aren't,
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't those words from Rebecca Holcomb?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So what I'm,
Not us saying it, it's to me,
It's the
seems
Secretary of Ed.
Yeah, so, I mean, is there any other, come John?
I was gonna say the same thing. I think the comment is about the statute's clear part, and I don't think the please err on the side of reporting is problematic. I think they were just concerned that we were reinterpreting.
That's what I took it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Anyone else have anything else? With that, what you're saying is that we can clean this up in terms of what's here now. We can look it over, we still have a few minutes on this, and remove the strikeouts and all the comments and have this move on is what needed to happen if there's no other changes that needed to be made or think need to be made to this, that'll be up for discussion. the footnotes, they needed to be moved to the end, is that correct? I say here, footnotes to be moved to the end if they, that's just a logistics type of thing, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, and I can do that.
Mhm. For that. So, you can, so if I take it correctly, then everybody is saying we'll move this on out here and be prepared to have a definitive discussion at your board meetings as to where this has been up to this point, and after we've heard the comments and we brought it back and we think we're ready for this to go on and it should be moved. It's one that in good conscience, that think the teachers can understand it, administrators think it's the way to go, and the board members are saying we can support this and we want it to be this way, and we think that it should move on.
I didn't even understand some of their things.
Is there anything else?
Yeah,
Like what?
little things like page 4, where they reference adults and the section of 16 VSA. I realize this is little dinky questions, but
Yeah, well, that was just, they tried to clean it up.
So yeah, I couldn't figure out what the difference was.
I didn't see
No, I don't understand what that correction is either.
I mean, it's
Like
over as a different section, I mean, it's moved over, I don't know.
It's
why it
section
moved over.
563A, which is what we had.
well,
Right.
they thought
I
we were
thought
gonna
it
run
was
out of
silly.
red ink pretty
So that
soon.
didn't change anything, but.
No, it didn't.
So,
No,
if-
I don't know why that's there.
that's not, and so everybody, this is really great that we've had this much of an agreement here to move to something along after it's been reviewed. I mean, this was a hot potato, and so.
It's the same.
No, it's the same thing. I think she just may have done it and then realized, oh, it was already
I think
there.
Yeah.
it's just a different size font.
Yeah.
Silly.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
going once, and we're
I
going.
think it's a tiny bit small.
Yeah, going
Silly.
twice. So what we'll say then is this is ready to have the strikeouts removed and move on to SVSU for
Warning.
warning. And from that, it will move on out to the other boards. I just wanted to make sure I need all of your support at your board level to move this on so that we can swiftly get it into place of the other policy.
Question,
Yes,
is this supposed to be a required policy or
Yep.
not?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Well, no, wait, no, no, it's not.
It's
No,
not
no,
a required
no.
policy.
That's a,
It's a
It's
not.
law.
It's a law.
It's, right, the law says you shall have a policy.
but they have the
It's
list
not
on the
what we
site.
understood.
So they have a site on the Department of Education website that they list all
Well,
of them
this-
saying required and not
So does the
required.
School Boards Association,
And-
right?
And I've looked it up. It's
It's
not
not on.
required, recommended, nothing.
But we would have it no matter what. We're gonna have it, so whether they keep it, I mean, they put it in that group or not, is one that we're gonna have. So I don't know that we need to spend a lot of time on them.
no, I just
No,
wanted to know if it
no.
needed to be designated as such.
So, We're gonna,
That was
I
all.
just know this-
Yeah.
I know.
just trying
I
to
can't
say-
see us doing without it, but I mean, I don't think well, we wanna send a note and say, hey, look, you think you ought to put this down as required? No. So, okay,
Just a minor comment, given that we let it lay for such a long period of time without updating it, it might be best on a required list that we look at every year or every something, because we didn't
Oh, the
update
legislature.
it
we
as
didn't update it.
often as we should have. and-
Right, and what we had problems with, I mean, it's in here, and that was the numbers, the phone numbers that what
Yeah, don't-
brought everybody's attention, and we think at this day and time, you can pick up a phone and all you have to do is just say the letters and the number pops up. I mean, on a cell phone, I'm sorry about that. Or if you got a computer, you hit that, and everyone that's in a position to do what we're asking to do here can immediately have that number available to them, so it shouldn't be an excuse. We got into the hole because we had it there and it wasn't correct, and so when you have something like that, and it get obsoleted and we don't come back to update it and put the new number in, then we have somebody can pick on. Now, it's not there and it says call that agency, you need to just look it up. Okay? All right, we are all set and ready to go on with that cleanup. And move on to SVSU for one. The next policy is policy 4003, is bullying prevention of adults. And what is occurred there, it was asked that some information be added in from another policy, and the phrase, what was added is the last two paragraph or sentences that came on the policy there. Oh, Lisa has them up. Privacy and retaliation. And this is already in another policy of ours, and that someone thought it needed to be here in this part of this policy, and that's why that's there. So I wanted just to have everybody realize that that's what's taking place with that policy, and it shouldn't be anything else to consider for that.
The language is in the harassment policy
Yes.
already, but it was not in this policy. And there have been some references to this policy that, and it wasn't there. So we were asked by HR to
Right. Oh,
make
that's
sure
right.
it's
It
in
was-
both policies.
It was the HR at SVSU here that asked that make sure that this was visible in this policy as well as the other policy. And so that's why those two short paragraphs were moved over. Okay? All
I,
right.
I thought this was combined with the other one, and then they had to not combine it, and now this has come back up, but it's in other policies. When did this one come back?
When you say when did this come back, with the first
Because
part of
I-
your statement, you said there was a separate,
Well,
they
remember
made us
we had-
combine, we took
They-
them apart,
well,
we
yeah,
go.
we have the students bullying policy,
Right.
and it was combined, and then you wanted to separate them.
But this is for
We have two
adults.
now.
This is
No,
for
no, no.
adults.
No, this is adults.
adult ones.
This is staff.
Right,
Right.
adults.
Right, this is adults.
Is this one,
Retaliation.
is this, I see no legal references in this. Does this have to be there too? Because we already have the safety of,
Well, the other policy piece there, this is for adults, and we took this from the harassment policy that didn't write the number down for that, and moved it into the adult policy piece in terms of bullying and prevention. Okay, the same language is appropriate there as it is here, is what we're saying, for this group as well. Was someone else checking something else in the?
Yeah, I have a concern, and it's just grammatical, but it changes the meaning of what's being said here. The very last sentence says any individual who retaliates against any employee or student who reports, testifies, assists, or participates in an investigation or hearing relating rather to a bullying complaint will be subject to appropriate discipline. So if you, oh, never mind, my misreading. Thank you, Dave. I'm good.
So we good? Okay. Everybody else is good? Okay, again, we want you to, at your individual districts, to pass that on as to what was added there. Now, I think, was there a question about whether this needed to go out for warning and all this other stuff? This is just language that we moved over to clarify something here. It should be an FYI.
Yeah, it's already in the policy, right?
It's on
It's
another
already in a
policy.
different policy.
It's on a different policy.
But it's in our policy.
It's
The
in a,
SVSU policy.
right, it's in a different SVSU
Yeah.
policy, and now we're putting it over to the adults, and I just wanted to for the sake of saying, should it move on, or do we need to go through and let warning to everybody along this line here? In this case, this is some language that's already out there, and we're just trying to make sure that it's in several places. So,
But it's out there in a different numbered policy, does that answer your
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
yes, it
So-
is.
Is it a substantive change to this policy is the question I think we asked, not whether it's that same language maybe somewhere else, but it won't apply to this setting unless the boards vote to change this, I would think.
Okay.
It's, to me, it's substantive, I agree with it, but to me, it's just substantive. It's not an editorial change.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure, we were gonna, whether go on to the boards as an FYI, approve, or just go ahead and go through the warning and approval process. So what I'm hearing then, that we needed to just, because of the contents that were added, that it needed to go through the warning and approval process all the way through again. And so we needed to make sure that the board members realized what took place there again, status quo as to what was moved over from, and that won't be documented out here, but we would be depending on the members that are here at your own district to include the fact that this was language requested to be added in this particular policy from our personnel department, from another policy. Okay.
Okay.
We'll move right on. If that's clear, we're gonna go to warning of that for the SVSU for the next round. Okay. Very good. The next policy on the list is policy 6400. Now, to start out, optimum class size. I had a few conversations with just Dick before we started the meeting here, and what the last meeting we had asked John and Dick to take a look at that. They volunteered to do that. What I have wanted, and they did it all, what we like to see happen, and everybody can chime in on that, is that we like to take the old policy and edit it up with the new information as opposed to have a separate one side by side. And what happens is when it goes to the boards, everybody want to ask, well, what changed? And why is this way, and so forth. So as a result of having it edited within the old policy, it would minimize that, and they would see what the changes were and what got moved along. Now, from what I saw in here, and I read it over and over and over again, and I think they did a marvelous job in systematically presenting the information and putting it all in the new policy format over the old one. And so the challenge would be is that everybody would know what's new in here. And I think I'll ask the guys, I don't think there's much of anything really new in here, so I'll open the floor up for Dick and John to talk about that, and then have everybody else chime in.
Just to first of all give credit to John, because he did most of the rewriting and then he just sent it over for comments, and all I could say was, yeah. He really did a good job, but I think it improves the flow, and he should comment further on it, but I think it better categorizes information, and the flow is much better.
Well, like you said, there's really nothing new in the document. I tried to present the ideas such that you could see the logical, like you said, the flow of it. There was some what I thought was extraneous or not necessarily relevant stuff in the previous document. So I thought I could take it out, and then if people want to put it back in, we could have a discussion about what deserves to be back in. But for the sake of having a clear document, I thought keeping it to the point of optimum class size would be helpful. Because I know I felt, and I think at the Shasbury meeting, you felt that it wasn't clear what the purpose was, and I tried to make that a little bit more obvious.
And I mean, I agree, it's good, it has a good flow to it, and everything. So let's hear from anybody else that has any other comments about what they think. If not, then what we'll be doing is taking this one, the new, and passing it on to SVSU as the replacement of the current optimal class size policy with the undertone language to everyone that when it comes time for the vote on, is just that the policy was rearranged in a manner to make it flow and understandable, clear, I mean, in terms of the clarity to everyone, and that,
I had a version like that, but it got so muddled, I couldn't see where the sentences were anymore, so I just thought, the hell with it, I'll start from scratch.
we'll try to do the best we can at explaining it back at the various districts in terms of when they see it and say, what's new?
Yeah.
So from administrative point of view, everything is there. We need everything that we wanted to have in there is there and so
It's
forth.
not new.
And it's not new. So, I'm ready to say, let's move it on. Dave?
I think the only thing I'd add is in line 9, a comma after learning, to ensure effective learning, comma, up in class size, because it's an infinitive clause.
Line
Wait,
9
line
on
9?
page.
On the first page.
First page, second, third.
I mean, I think everything else is very well done. And I think with that probably underlining.
I don't see anything line 9.
Okay. Lisa's looking for that right now.
Something,
On the right one?
that's not the same.
You're,
Well,
are you
Which one
looking
are
at the,
Old
is
one?
that the,
that's the old one,
that's
not the
the
new
old
one.
one?
Yeah.
That's the new one.
This is the new
Not-
one.
The new one is
The new one is, line.
6400B.
Yeah, that's an older,
Is that, let's see here.
This is
Six-
the new one.
This is the new
So
one.
6400B
No,
is different than what
that's
you
not
just
the newest.
said.
Okay.
That was,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
this is the newest right here. This is the,
we're not looking at it up there.
it
Right
says
here.
the same thing, 1024.
Yeah.
Same 16.
Where's your,
These are the ones.
So that's.
There's an A and a B in my.
Oh, maybe
And I did that for the purpose of name only on
I
the
I
file.
understand that, I mean,
Got it.
but it depends on which one Dave
Right.
is looking.
Okay, well,
Oh.
it's here, line 19, it's the same thing,
Okay.
to facilitate
There we go.
effective teaching, comma, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go, exactly.
Okay.
That's- And the comma's there.
And that's there, so, good.
Okay.
Okay.
I was looking at the other one too.
Right.
So you got it.
sorry, Lisa, you were ahead of time.
That's okay.
Right.
We're good.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else on that line?
Nice job, John.
Yep, I wanted to say thank you again.
Good job, John.
Yeah, that's all. Okay. What that has done for us is now 6 o'clock and.
No, it's not, it's 5 o'clock.
5. Well, that hasn't been changed yet.
Oh, the clock hasn't been
We,
changed.
we,
I just realized that.
every single
Minute ago.
school, every single
Yeah, I
place.
was ready to go.
I don't understand it, why we can't change the clock, but we can't.
Why can't we
apparently.
just call it 6?
Yeah.
There you go.
We've been here a half an hour, we've worked hard.
Nate, can you put the,
Done everything on the list,
Yeah, we,
Tracking sheet.
except for the track.
You can keep the smiles on our faces, right?
yeah.
That's too much.
So what we have is a tracking sheet, which is Lisa pulled up there, and I got a copy for that. And we can go through the tracking sheet there now and update, make sure we have everything that we need to have on that. So, I'm looking at mine here.
Okay, well, that was.
The optimal class size piece is now going to be going back out, so we back to all those boards out as one
Yep.
again. Okay, because it's enough. So we're gonna go to SVSU with that. And that's what the comment will be in that section for that. I think I see something up there for that. The next one is visit to the schools.
That's making its rounds.
It's making its round out there. I don't know of anything that's come
Been
up
warned
in the
everywhere.
process.
Woodford's adopted.
Woodford has already adopted it, so the paperwork will make its way around the Lisa, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be,
I think BSD adopted it
BSD may have adopted it already. That was 11-2, and so
Mhm.
North Bennington is
Wednesday.
Coming.
Wednesday out there. And so, hopefully we'll be able to move right along with that. Okay. The next one is what we just child abuse and neglect. And that is now, the comment to be going to SVSU after it gets cleaned up. This is the third one down.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll get all the information cleaned up on it, and it'll move on down. So you're adding bullet intervention on it. So back up to 5005, that's the one that's gonna go out.
Yep.
Clean up and go out. I can't, you may have it there already.
Yep.
Okay. Then the next one on there is fundraising, and that,
That actually has been now to all boards for
that's been all
FYI.
boards, and so that will be going back to SVSU if it.
No, already
No,
done.
no,
It's already, it's
administrative
done.
act.
It's just FYI to everybody.
Okay, just FYI, I see it now. So,
Yeah, I'll just, can I comment on that, Liam? We had everybody may have seen something in the paper. We had a comment about 5200 when, at our last meeting, that the person didn't care for the word endorse in there, rather than, that means that, he was saying that means that you are endorsing the board is endorsing every fundraiser that goes out, which may not, the principal does it, we don't do it. And it was just, it's just a wording type thing, but to me, it didn't make any difference, but I wanted to bring it up to say that rather than endorse, acknowledge the fundraising.
all right, anybody care to comment that? When he talk about board and we talk about the school principal doing it, I mean, it's at our,
Well, yes, it is at our, but the principal is the one that okays it. And when you say that the board endorsed it, the board endorses it through the principal.
that's
That's
the way you look at it, yes. So that's exactly.
Can we get that up in a
She's pulling it up,
context so
yeah.
that we understand what we're
Yep.
talking about?
Yeah. Board understand, oh, I thought I saw it
Farther
at the
down,
bottom.
yeah.
Yep,
right there.
understand each fundraising effort is only part of the total community and fundraising calendar, and therefore must carefully monitors and control all fundraising
I don't see it
activities
either.
comply with the federal, no,
It's in the first paragraph,
it's in the first paragraph, okay.
first paragraph.
Oh, there,
To endorse the concept of
Concept.
fundraising.
concept.
You're endorsing not anything other than the concept of fundraising.
That's right.
Yes, that's what,
And that's what that person objected to?
yeah.
So
Did you read his letter?
No, I didn't.
No, it is a concept that we
It is a-
believe.
I'm not reading any letters to the editor until after
Oh,
goes by.
that's a-
I'm
that's
not
a
even
different
writing
story.
any letters to the editor, so
We've heard
if that's okay with everybody. No, I don't,
I
to me,
don't
the
see-
idea is that the concept of fundraising is something that the boards endorse.
We do.
And if you don't, then why make us do it? Because we, just fund us by the taxpayer, that would be just fine.
I don't have any problem with it, I'm just.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Bringing it around.
I get you.
Yeah, and so.
Well, I think the person is misreading it.
Right,
Yeah.
and so that's the right place for it there,
Yeah.
is to be there. We do as boards endorse that concept.
Because what
Yeah.
follows it is why we endorse it.
Right.
Yeah.
For these
I
purposes,
understand.
right.
So, you've done your job.
Yep.
Brought it out.
Thank
made
you.
aware of that,
Thank you.
so forth along that line.
Message received.
We have ears everywhere, we wanna make sure we do that.
So
Bring up the-
duly
That's what a
noted.
board is.
It's duly noted,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Yikes.
Okay, let's see here.
Wanna make that one red?
Where
Oh,
were
yeah.
we now?
10 after 6.
In,
Yeah. We're late.
We're running late.
I was trying to see on the fundraising, the
The
next one.
the other one
was
that would be added, you're gonna add this to it, is
Policy
the
on
one we
policies
just
not
did,
there yet.
60, whatever that was,
Anaphylaxis
60,
Is all,
4,003.
64.
64, got it. The bullying prevention,
Yeah, that one,
Yeah,
whatever
it's
that
there.
is.
right here.
There.
okay, so we added that on bullying prevention, and we're saying we're gonna send that out for one.
There you go.
We fixed that.
Okay.
Is that the right number?
That can't be.
What, 6,400?
Is that right?
6,400 is happening in the class.
I got
Yeah.
4,003.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
4,003.
whoops.
Number.
4,003 is bullying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right,
There we go.
4,000.
Bullying prevention is 4,003.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one we
Yeah.
just
Ooh.
made a change for, to go out to work.
Okay, yes,
Got it.
4,003.
Yeah, that makes much more sense.
Okay.
Okay, what else is, okay, that's it for the items that are out for the tracking sheet right now.
Yep.
So, the thing, according to our agenda, we have a spot number 7 for others. And then we have, other items of interest that we can move into, not necessarily to attack them today, but to just agree that we'll do them diligent by next time, or have them on the list to read and discuss. If no others, is there others that we have missed, would like to have considered in terms of others? Here none, then the FYI group, since we have time here, is just to indicate, we know that we're coming up in contract negotiations time, and we wanted to just look at 3,100 in terms of transportation. But when I say contract, I'm sorry about contract, but I meant budget time.
RFP.
Transportation
Or
bid.
a bid for transportation.
A bid for transportation, and then we having budget discussions and so forth along that line. So we'll need to put that out there and see whether anything comes up for that, and we can read it and have a discussion on it for next time if everybody agree to do that. Along that same line is 3101 is mandatory drug and alcohol testing in terms of transportation of employees. We can read and understand that particular policy, and not necessarily that something has to be changed about any of these, but we agreed to that we would just go out and read, look, and make them current as we go through the process.
So you want both of those on the December, Agenda?
We'll take those on the December agenda. Is that, I'm going through it. I mean, I'm reading them all, and so you can talk about which ones you want on there in terms of December. Harassment of employees, 4,001 is the next one we said we had on the list that we thought would be there. And one that, health insurance, and Accountability Act compliance ability is, there seem to be a lot in the news these days. Maybe we need,
How would it have changed?
Not that it had changed, just saying that we just needed to
We
just take a
looked-
look at it.
Yeah, we looked at the dates the last time these have been looked
Right.
at. These
Yeah.
are the required ones, and it's just,
Right.
if you don't need to change them, we don't need to
Yeah.
change them, but they can be 10, 15 years.
I know.
So that's what we're saying, we'll read it, and we'll have a 15-minute meeting next time. That if we read them all, no changes, and we'll move right on.
Do we have to change the clock?
Let's change the clock.
Right.
So, and then, the last one on here is policy 1,000, drafting committee policy, to look at that and see whether we need to make changes, to that particular policy in some form or fashion. So, that's all I wanted to cover here today. I wanted to give everybody an early start so that you can get out and vote tomorrow.
Get home, get your rest.
And so you'll need a lot of rest to get to the polls tomorrow. And be prepared with a lunch for the long lines, but do get out. So, Nick, you had anything else that anyone?
Well, I just wondered when the last time we looked at criminal records checks was. Just seems like it's one of those things we need to worry about.
Okay, that's criminal's record check is one. Another one that I think we needed to pull up. I just don't want it to be 15 years going through processing.
Well,
Quick.
I said, well, it only took us that long to do it.
Yeah.
It's 40/80.
Okay.
40/80, that's it.
40/80.
Come on, machine. Oh, really? There we go. Saginaw Valley, yeah, that's it.
That's the wrong one.
I don't know why it comes up like that. There we go, that's what I want.
Because it's .edu.
40/80.
Mm-hmm. That's it, 40/80.
So it looks like 05.
05. Okay.
Yep.
So is that, you think we need to,
I just wouldn't find it surprising if there's some different agency that we've got to go through or a different number we have to call. I mean, it's just.
Hopefully the numbers.
okay, so we can add that on the list, if that's
Okay.
what everybody's saying, we'll add that up. Dave?
I probably should put this on the other, I just want to put this on people's radar. That our attendance committee was meeting today, and we talked about the fact that there seems to be an increase of people getting doctors' excusals for absences. And at the high school where it's credit bearing, that makes a big difference, that we get people who get excused for, you know, crazy things. And we're looking to reach out to the medical community to try to get some bearing on this. And we're wondering if it's a district problem, that we're getting people excused, you know, rather easily for a number of things that in the old days probably wouldn't have been. And we're trying to stick to the 5-day rule that they have 5 days to get a doctor's note, because we got an influx of people at the end of the semester who want to try to backtrack and cover their absences so they get credit. And it seems to be very easy sometimes to get medical excuses, and you know, we're looking to, to look into that. And I don't know if that's on anybody's radar in the district, if that's happening other places, but it is. I'm sure it is of you guys. I know you guys have a policy too at CEC,
Mhm.
so we're going to look to talk to the medical community about getting some more support on that.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
I think that
Oh, Donna, go ahead.
we had some questions too about the elementary attendance policy and some inconsistencies about how some things were reported. So at our administrative meeting tomorrow, we were going to
okay.
suggest
Good.
that there would be a few differentiated groups so that elementary might have some issues that wouldn't be the same as yours. And so we'll have a couple groups that will work on the administrative breaks
Oh,
and
good.
get them more specific.
So,
Yeah.
and one of the things, and I'm glad you brought that up, is that when you ask, so while we have CAT TV available to us, in terms of business and industry, and the goal is what the policy is trying to make sure that it instill into the students that business is not going to have you continuously miss days of work for no reason, and even at a reason up to a certain point. So why not, why encourage, if you don't have to encourage, students to be out or have an excuse for being out when they should muscle up and get to school and do the things that need to happen, because what we're trying to teach them, it's important that you show up to school every day. That's how you learn. And it's very important that you show up to work every day, because that's how you learn to earn a living, and you don't earn it by being out. So I'm going to say that. My phone number is not posted anywhere in here. But I do hope that everybody take it to heart, because that's something that came from the workforce group and everything else that they asked the schools to look into, is making sure that we get kids to school and that we keep them there, and that we put some emphasis on attendance.
So we need some help from the community to do that.
Yes, we do.
That's,
I heard an announcement at Price Chopper on the, on the intercom about attendance is very important, and these are ways to help your child get to school.
That's good.
Wow.
Right, that's good. Okay.
like to see
Okay.
that.
If there's nothing else, then I would like to entertain a motion that we be adjourned. And
Sure.
Until
Yes.
December 5th, I think is the next meeting time. And so, everyone, thank you for coming, and I appreciate all the hard work and efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.